Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Ace or Shot. That sounds so bad, that intro, whatever. Anyway, this is podcast number 3.
Three
And,
it is.
Infinity Endgame, whatever Avengers movie it is coming out. So, what we're gonna do is not talk about Avengers because you know how people are. You just want to spoil everything. You just want to tell me everything that happens. Captain America will die. Iron Man will die. And Hulk would. And no one wants to hear it. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna talk about Marvel, but we're gonna talk about characters that are not in the MCU and how we or thoughts about how they could be added to the MCU. So once again, we are. I am joined by some lovely people. So if you guys would like to introduce yourself, and Struggle Jackson in here in it, but listen, he will talk. We'll make him talk in this podcast. Anyway, other than Drax, if y'all like to introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I am DarkBladeXX. You can catch me on Twitch at DarkBladeXX and on YouTube at The Dark Enforcers.
All right. I'm Tim, otherwise known as Furbobian on Drew's Chat. I'm also on Twitch, Bushido808. Look for me or not.
I'm Hardy Dave. I don't stream, so you don't come to me, I come to you.
Harley, that sounds so wrong. Anyway,
I'm sorry.
that sounds
On to the topic at hand.
But the reason why I thought off of this topic is because I watched X-Men Apocalypse the other day. First of all, that movie was a pile of doo-doo, fam. That movie was a pile of
Agreed.
donkey doo-doo. Anyway, and obviously there's a new X-Men coming out, Dark Phoenix. So, like, my thoughts was like, because Disney's bought Fox, obviously they own X-Men now, so that X-Men timeline that they're doing is probably gonna die out. And I was wondering maybe if Jean kills everybody, which would be quite shit if they ended it like that. But it would be a good idea because But like how they would bring the X-Men into the MCU, like. But one thing people are discussing, I don't know why, because I just thought it was a straight yes. But do you think if they bring the X-Men in, do you think they should use like the costumes, or do you think that's a bit like they look a bit childish?
Well, if you want to address just the costumes, I don't think they would fit. They look a bit in the comics. They worked in the cartoons. They work. But I don't see how they would actually fit properly in the MCU, not in the X-Men universe. In the MCU, how they would fit, I think it would be quite out of place.
But doesn't like everyone have their comics and not the comic? Don't everyone have their costumes?
Yeah,
in the movies,
costume.
though?
But coordinated costumes between them.
Yeah, Golden Age, no.
What do you mean?
Like, as much as we want to see Wolverine in his iconic outfit, you don't really want to
You know
see
the yellow
this
spandex.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to see the yellow spandex. I'm trying to see Cyclops in the blue thing. I'm trying to see Dream Grey with the helmet on. I'm trying to see the proper Magneto helmet. Like, I want costumes.
I think it would work, but they would have to modernize it a little bit.
Like they modernized, I think, most of the costumes in the MCU at the end of the day.
Like Hawkeye.
I mean, if you
Think
want to
how that was
modernize it,
supposed to look.
Scarlet Witch
modernize
doesn't
it,
look
modernize
anything
it.
like that.
But like, give me some because the X-Men movies, they're just all in like black uniform, and I'm like, fam, what X-Men are you looking at? I don't understand what comics these people read to make these X-Men movie costumes.
They just wanted to jump on the bandwagon.
I don't get it. But
Sorry,
yeah, like
making
what
money,
characters
let's
do
do
you
it.
guys think would be a good addition to MCU? Like characters that's not really being in it. Go on, Tim. I know you got a character. Tim, I know you have a character
Me?
deep down in you. A comic book character deep down.
Well, okay. I actually do. Deep down, I think that Silver Surfer, I think, could do a lot. I think with the way CGI is now, the level that they're at, I think they could really do him justice. His whole character, his whole backstory. I think it could be some spectacular action.
Is he powerful?
And now they're at the
Silver
point.
Surfer?
You know what? As far as knowing the powers of the characters and how much they know, I don't know. I don't know his whole story, but I just know that he can slide on ice.
Because I heard that a lot of people always say Silver Surfer, but I've never known.
Oh, yeah, he's from a planet that's similar to ours.
But
except
is he
for it
like
got
super
wiped
powerful?
out.
Like,
Yeah,
Yes.
he's technically one of the emissaries of Galactus. So I think if you have to include the Silver Surfer, you have to include Galactus or at least go approach it by going that storyline. He used the Silver Surfer to find planets that Galactus would eventually devour. He is basically invulnerable. He's super powerful, and he can manipulate matter. So on the scale of
they'd
how
have to
powerful
definitely
they are,
downscale that.
he's one of the top.
They'd have to
Excuse me?
definitely downscale that.
Mhm.
They definitely have to downscale that. But isn't Galactus in MCU already? He's not, is he?
No, he's not. He's not.
He's definitely gonna be the next villain then.
Yeah. That's what many people are speculating, is that the next big villain would be Galactus.
Yeah.
Now,
You can't go from Kratos to. You have to have someone big.
And I think it makes sense, even the fact that they're pushing, because they're also pushing the Eternals, and the Eternal storyline can bring about both the X-Men and also the Galactus by starting to talk also about the Eternals and their powers, which they were mentioned briefly in Guardians of the Galaxy. They were even shown at one point. So that would be a good way to start introducing the cosmic side of how these powers work, both Galactus and also maybe some of the characters from the X-Men.
Yeah, X-Men. So, if they were to bring in Silver Surfer, do you reckon they would you want to see another Fantastic Four redone?
Man, they've been trying to crack that shell. I think they've learned their lessons, which is stop trying to make something that is so ridiculous serious. They're like Marvel and most of the directors aren't making the things that could be serious that serious. You know what I mean? They're putting in the jokes, they're keeping it lighthearted. But Fantastic Four is so far on the side of we can't take this seriously. It's a man who stretches out with rubber hands and a guy made entirely of rock. So they've got to come back at this with keeping it not too serious, keeping it funny, kind of like in the vein of Guardians of the Galaxy, and you could do it. But
I didn't
I don't
mind.
know.
I didn't mind the original Fantastic Four that they made. I thought that was cool. That movie was alright.
I didn't think it needed a
was
remake.
funny. That movie was funny.
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one was good. The second one was
I mean, second one was alright.
second
I
one
didn't really know about
was
Silver
Surfer.
Surfer, to be honest. And
I think
then
the only takeaway was how they introduced Galactus. I think that was my whole takeaway from it.
Oh wait, did they introduce Galactus in that then?
In Silver Surfer, they did.
Yes,
Basically, he appeared as a big cloud or something like that.
yes.
Oh,
With tornadoes.
Yeah, but guys, we're talking about when did they come out? What, 2004? We're talking
I don't know
about.
the
Yeah,
timeline.
they had no universe even in mind back
Yeah,
then.
we're talking
Nah.
about the days where Incredible Hulk was some green doody CGI. There was no such thing as
Don't remind
superhero
me.
movies will do. The best superhero movie back in those days was Batman from the 90s.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a cutoff. I mean, would you say the first Iron Man would be?
Yeah,
Is that
Yeah, we'll go with the
tipping
first Iron
point?
Man
First Iron Man.
would be where we
What?
have a standard for superhero movies.
Right.
Yeah, technically, the Hulk that was before him is the first movie in the MCU.
Yeah, it is, right?
Yeah, it
I
is.
thought it was Iron Man then Hulk.
It
Let me
no, it
check.
is Iron Man and Hulk. It is Iron Man and Hulk. I think. Because Iron Man's in the post credits.
Yeah, because he showed up in Hulk.
Yeah. I think it's Iron Man. The
Yeah,
Hulk.
you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Because he was in the post credits. But even Hulk, like I want a Hulk movie. Like I want a Hulk movie.
Yes.
I was just going to ask that. Like, do you think like those previous Hulk films did Hulk justice? Like, I mean, I didn't think they were bad movies, right? It's too far to go to say that they
I don't
were
think they were
bad.
The second movie was
But-
really good. I liked it.
Which one?
I like them all.
The one that's actually a part of the MCU.
The Incredible Hulk.
Okay. We with
Mm.
Abomination.
Yeah.
Abomination was.
I thought that was but I thought it was good for like guys. This is like 2008. Like they will do these superhero movies at the time.
True,
Like, it
but
was
I mean,
A
didn't
good
look
movie.
anything like them.
The problem is that Marvel still doesn't have the rights to the distribution of the Hulk movie. So
Exactly.
that's
That's
why
so
they
crazy.
cannot do a solo Hulk movie.
Is it? I didn't even know
Is that the
that.
whole reason?
Yeah, he's owned
Yeah,
by.
it is. It is. They have the rights for the character. They don't have the rights for the distribution.
Jeez.
It's insane.
Because I'm here the whole time wondering, like, why everybody else gets a movie? Like, why is Hulk the one that I didn't know that? Okay, that
Yeah,
makes
there is.
sense.
So I'm sure Marvel has some spare cash. They can't buy the rights. Is it too expensive for them to?
Apparently, they aren't really on good terms. It's. They
Wow.
don't.
Wait,
Yeah.
who owns the rights?
I think it's Universal.
Oh Jesus.
Why are they holding on to the rights though? Like, you're
No,
making
I'm
a whole
holding
movie.
on.
Because that's money. They know.
Yeah, it is money.
They know.
Nah,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Look how
So
long
this
it took
whole time I've been
Fox to
thinking,
give it.
what no Hulk movie, nah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
thought they were just being unfair to Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
no, they wanted to make the movie for him.
No,
So hold
no,
on,
no.
how come
In
the
fact,
Incredible Hulk
that's
movie?
why.
How come the Incredible Hulk movie is part of MCU then?
But if you remember, it's not
That was like-
published under the Marvel logo. They included it
Really?
in the MCU, but I think it's distributed by Universal. Marvel Studio wasn't still a house distribution or what it's called.
So what's the whole thing of them?
That's the one
including
with
Hulk
Ed
in
Norton?
Avengers?
Yeah,
Yes.
Ed Norton.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Juanito, by the way.
Hello.
And,
Oh,
Hello.
I didn't know that. All these years, I didn't know that. That's
no,
interesting.
same here.
Okay.
I just assumed he's a Marvel character. He's under Marvel.
So basically, they could technically kill off Hulk and don't care because they're not making movies out of him anyway.
Oh
But let's not
shit!
talk about flipping Endgame.
Damn,
The thing is, they can
Put
use
that out
him.
there.
They can use him in any ensemble, and that's
Let's
the
not talk about
only
Endgame because we know how that goes. So yeah, X-Men. What other characters are there that they haven't used yet? There's not many.
What do you mean?
Like that haven't been in the MCU.
Oh, they haven't.
Well, there's a lot of characters that haven't had movies made.
X-Men has a lot of characters.
Yeah, X-Men have a lot of characters.
But you mentioned Fantastic Four earlier. I think they would not introduce the X-Men with the Fantastic Four. They would be two separate franchises.
I think with the X-Men, I think you introduce the X-Men separate. So what I think would be good to do is not even touch X-Men with MCU. Just build X-Men as its own universe. And then one day when X-Men is big, Avengers are big, then you do X-Men versus Avengers. I think that would be a good
But
idea.
how?
Scarlet
Well,
Witch.
if you have X-Men as their own like entity.
They already said that they're keeping Deadpool separate.
So that's what I'm saying. If you have like X-Men as their own, don't introduce. You could do it like how they do the TV shows. Like they're in the same universe, but they just don't interact with each other. Like they're aware of each other, but they don't like. They're just separate places.
I don't want a parallel universe story though.
No. I'm not saying parallel universe. I'm saying they're in the same universe, but they just don't interact with each other. So like they're like, yeah, we know like Iron Man and whatever's about, but like we don't care. Like they do them and we do us, kind of thing. And then one
Yeah,
day you have an X-Men versus Avengers where they all link up.
But you have things that are happening on a global scale, and they're not any mutant isn't doing anything about it. So
I mean,
that's
it's
how.
true.
how do you explain that? Like, so far, none of the X-Men appeared because in the Battle of New York there was no one available. They were, on a vacation. That's the thing.
Unless they say like they know that Iron Man and Captain America and stuff are always gonna be there, or I don't know how they'd explain that actually.
No, I think Darkblade mentioned something which is also in line with the comics, which is part of the House of M, an adaptation of
Who?
which would do something that would trigger the mutant gene in many of the people, because the mutant gene has come on Earth through the Eternals and some of the iterations in the comics. They experimented with humans, and there is a dormant gene which comes active and you become a mutant. And there could be, when there's a trigger, you basically switch and you start having abilities. So there are two options. Either Scarlet Witch triggers it on a global scale, or they introduce something that they have mentioned in what's it called? I think it's Ultron, where Stucker explains that they have created Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver by using the Infinity Stone. So through the use of the Infinity Stone, either by an explosion in one of the movies, they trigger this gene in the other people on Earth.
I mean, they already had a Quicksilver, and which is annoying. See, that's the annoying thing, because Quicksilver is one of the best things about the X-Men movies, and then it's like, well, you're gonna have to kill him off now. Well, you're not even gonna have to kill him off. He's dead, unless obviously they do some weird stuff in the Endgame, which again we're not gonna discuss. But it's just weird, because if you do introduce other people, you have that question of where was everyone? Like, where y'all at? Like,
it has to be a side effect of a new thing. I don't think they will go to the route of, they were always here but hidden in plain sight. Doesn't work.
To be honest, so far they've done a good job of explaining where people have been. Like Captain Marvel's not on the planet. Black Panther, he's been in Wakanda, so they don't really mess with like other countries.
Things on Earth, yeah.
Like, they really don't well explaining it. I realize they don't. Well, Ant-Man is Ant-Man, whatever. But
Ant-Man is on a smaller scale. Doctor Strange takes actually on board things on a bigger scale, so it's dimensional. And you're right, they explained a lot how people are interacting at the same time, doing different things. Spider-Man is in his own corner, Iron Man is doing his own things, and Thor is in space doing his stuff. You know what I mean? They managed to do that. So to all of a sudden come out and say they were here all along and just we didn't find them, I think would be a cop-out.
Do you think people would mind that much? Like, would it matter if they did that? Like, I mean, honestly, like, at one point, they're going to break the logic a bit, I think.
See, that's one thing that I was thinking as well the other day when I was thinking of Endgame, and like the way they've done the Avengers, and obviously this is the last movie in the phase that they have, and the whole 10 years or 12 year story writing. I was thinking, okay, they've done well with these 10, 12 years, but is it going to be of the same, like, quality after this? Like, can they really give us the same quality of movies after this? Like, the story writing, can it really be the same? Because it's going to be like, it's not going to be the same Avengers. I don't know what's going to happen, but you obviously are going to have to bring in some new people. And like Black Panther, Spider-Man, etc., these guys are going to have to be like the new Avengers.
Captain Marvel.
Like the new Captain Marvel, the new
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, like, but I think when when the first Captain America movie came out, and the first Iron Man movie, and the first, like, who else is in the Avengers? Those two, I swear those two are all four movies.
Hawkeye, Black Widow.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, who's got a movie that's in the Avengers? Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor.
Thor.
That's it. Those are the only ones that have movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I thought more people had, but still,
they're
when
doing a Black Widow one.
Black
apparently.
does she have a movie?
No. They're doing one. It's been rumored for the past couple of years.
Oh, I hate when they do that. I hate Marvel that do that. Like, can you guys really like? Okay, we're excited for Avengers, but can you really be like excited? Not excited, but optimistic when you know half of the movies that are coming out. Like, are you really that excited?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you ask me, yes, because after what happened in these 10 years, it would be a new saga. There would be something that's coming, something that's big. One thing that maybe we don't realize is that even these movies, they were all leading to somewhere. On their own, they still had a good story. So the arch over all these movies, yes, it was there, but on their own, these movies were good. So it doesn't have to be like each movie has to prepare for something else. As long as they do a good movie in itself, I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but to be honest, with Marvel movies, I never really cared about the movies as individuals. I've cared about was the beginning. Something happens in the beginning. Okay, who's the villain? Then the fight at the end. Then the end credit scenes. That's what I've cared about. Like, what's gonna happen at the end credit scenes? Like, how they're gonna advance the story. Like, that's the most important thing for me. I don't care about everything else. Like, I don't care. Like, the end credit scene. Oh, Thanos is in it. Oh, this is happening. Oh, they got a new Infinity Stone. Oh my gosh, yeah, we're moving forward now. And then it's like,
We're getting to that point. Like, I mean, Hellboy was a recent example where it was like people thought the movie was trash, but they said the end credits scene was like amazing. And I don't know what that means, but
why does everyone keep doing end credit scene? That's so annoying. I don't want to have to sit in the. Fam, I'm not reading all of these credits. I don't care about the cameraman and the director. I don't care.
yeah.
Like, all this end credit stuff is annoying.
And they're doing it for comic book movies, which means there's a million people they got to go through these credits to get to that end.
Yeah, but I don't think if you would be the cameraman of that movie, you wouldn't like to see your name up there. You know what I mean?
Of course, you want to see your name up there. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is, I'm not reading your name. I haven't read John Smith. I still don't know who John Smith is. I don't know who filmed Iron Man. I don't know who filmed Infinity War. And I watched the whole credits. I still don't know who filmed it. So it like end credit scenes are just annoying. They're annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And then Infinity War, when did it have one? I was
much.
like, man, you made me sit through this whole goddamn end credit scene, and you ain't even got one. You gonna tell me about Thanos will return? And well, I know Thanos will return, bro. You telling me things I know already. You just made me sit here this whole time, this whole flipping time.
Everyone feels like an idiot just waiting.
What do you think overall? Any opinions or ideas about how the X-Men will be introduced? What will trigger the introduction? Going back to the main topic.
See, this is what I want. I need. You see that X-Men that they've done with Days of Future Past, not Days of Future Past. What was the film called? First Class.
First Class.
They might as well just do something like that again, where it's a
But how
young
would they
Professor Xavier.
How will they introduce the whole thing?
Did you say?
How will they explain the X-Men? How will they?
No, what I'm saying is
come
they
up with the subject
introduce.
of mutants.
They bring it in with Xavier, where there isn't an X-Men yet, but Xavier comes through and he's like, "Oh, I think I can help, cause I'm a psychic and blah blah, and I've just never like expressed that I have powers, blah blah." And then obviously through there you meet Magneto and blah blah. Like, build the X-Men a little bit first.
That's a bit difficult given the lore, since the first X-Men actually, as you mentioned at the beginning of the movie, was Apocalypse, which lived thousands of years ago. So X-Men is something new. They've been around for thousands of years. The mutants have been around for years. through history. So you cannot go like, oh, you cannot just go on and ignore the whole line and just introduce the new ones because they with no history whatsoever.
I mean, you can.
That's a difficult part of it.
Yeah, but everybody. The thing is, first of all, it's a movie. Second of all, everybody knows the X-Men already. So when you bring them
Good
in,
point.
you can easily just bring him in and say, "Listen, this is Charles Xavier," but it's a young Xavier. It's not like the bald ass Patrick Stewart Xavier. It's a young Xavier. You bring him in, and we work with. The only thing is, how you gonna be in Wolverine and stuff? Like, you'd have to make up a new storyline that probably doesn't match the comics.
Yeah, you have to. If you're going that route, you have to, because if the world had the problems with the Avengers and they come up with the Sokovia Accords and the initiative to control them, they would have to do the same thing with X-Men, because the X-Men would be involved in everything major that happens on Earth. So you cannot go hiding them for the past years and ask the question where they've been. So they need to come up with something that inventive, either create the origin in the MCU, so we ignore everything that the comics have told us about the X-Men, like they have been introduced thousands of years ago and we have been living with them.
Yeah, but this is the problem, Harley, and I keep telling you this. Fam, the comic books and the movies is too different. Like, when people watch these movies and they're like, oh, but in the comics this happens, I'm like, fam, this isn't comic. This isn't a comic taken from the comic and redone into a movie. It's not. It's a completely different thing.
But if you change too much, no one's gonna want to watch it.
I will still watch it because I didn't read the comic books from. So if they give me X-Men and say, listen, we've just created the X-Men, I am happy for that. I'm happy. I will happily take it. Like, you've made a new story. You've written something in. It makes sense for this movie. Like, I don't mind that it's not the comics. Because according to the comics, there's a female Thor, and Thor's hammer's doing foolishness now, and Logan does foolishness, and Deadpool kills all the X-Men, and so like, we just have to make your own story, innit? I would prefer you make a story that makes sense and it's original and unique, and you've given me something, a great story, rather than you just taking the comic book and then it don't make sense.
No, yeah, I agree with you that Marvel, the MCU has been using the comics as an inspiration for most of the time. They have nods to the actual comics, but they don't follow it to the letter, and that has worked. So that's why I mentioned that maybe what they could do is create an event that would trigger the origins of the X-Men at that point in time. But they won't be explaining the origins of the history. But they have an option to do that by saying that they have been with us all along, but they haven't been triggered into becoming mutants with abilities. They can say that through the Eternals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, unless you like have something where the X-Men have been scared the whole time or something. Because remember in is it Infinity War? Or no, remember Civil War, they was like, yo, we don't want any superheroes because you guys just F up everything.
Yeah.
So they could say like they didn't want to come out because like the government shunned them or whatever. So they've just been chilling this whole time. Or they've been training, Xavier's been training them this whole time, and they've just been in the house and watching, and then but now something happened and they're like, nah, we have to get involved.
That might work a little bit. Kind of say like, these are the guys they love and look how they treated them. Just imagine how they treat us.
Even though I think it will require like a few movies. Like, you can't just bring, like, I don't like when people say, oh, just bring the X-Men into Infinity War, or bring them in Avengers, or you can't do that. You have to. It's like a Captain Marvel, where they was like, oh yeah, Captain Marvel can just come in Avengers. No, you have to give me a movie. Let me know who she is. Like, how would she get here?
Yeah.
Like, it don't make sense for you to just bring in characters. Are there any more Marvel characters? I can't think of Marvel characters.
What do you mean? You can't think of Marvel characters?
There's a few that can.
What
What do you
about
mean you
characters
cannot?
like they can't add the Spider-Man characters, can they?
That's tied up with Sony.
Spider-Man is still Sony.
Yeah, they don't own them. These studios need to come together. I'm trying to see
Yeah,
flipping.
DC made the mistake that you mentioned. They introduced all the characters in Justice League with barely any history and any movies of them together. So I agree with you. They need to give them some background before introducing them. Like, oh, this is Captain Marvel coming in to save the day, but who is she? You know what I mean? It's a perfect example. I totally agree with what you said there.
But DC's
So
problem
int-
is that's a good point
Mhm.
because it kind of matches with this. DC's problem is you introduce a new Batman and Superman, fine. Then you made them fight each other, and they didn't fight each other in the film. They fought each other for like a minute. The film was doo doo. Then they're just best friends, and Batman's found all of the Justice League. Like the way they introduced the characters just didn't make sense. Like you
No.
found everybody, like you just found everybody now.
Put
Yeah,
on
they
some
were
more
on
ads.
a file drive on a drive on what's it face Lex Luthor drive, and they copied it, and all of a sudden they had their logos as well ready. Aquaman logo, Wonder Woman logo, Cyborg logo, all there ready to click on. Yeah, that was a bit
And then
lazy writing.
Flash is just randomly stealing from shops in broad daylight, and flipping Cyborg is randomly, his father's randomly records live streaming some shit, and flipping Wonder Woman's randomly just got photos all over the gaff. Like that way of introducing characters was stupid. It was stupid.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna have a whole Justice League movie, and it's like, fam. First of all,
Yeah.
Darkblade, you mentioned House of M and through Scarlet Witch. How do you think they would approach that?
They can approach it by having her powers like escalate. More and more, she learns how to do different things, and then those abilities maybe go a little bit out of control.
what
And
is
that
House
Now,
of
would
M,
she
be
by the way?
great.
have really good control, but what if she learned exactly the full extent of her power?
House of M is basically the story of Scarlet Witch going full Phoenix mode, like what happened
Oh,
with
Jesus
Jean
Christ.
Grey. Yeah. But she realizes her own powers, and she is able to create universes and stuff like that. And at one point in time, she basically eliminates all the X-Men because she didn't want any more superpowers. No, I think she actually triggered
Yeah, she got
everyone.
rid of almost all mutants.
Yeah. hmm
See what I'm
Jesus.
saying? That's what I'm saying. They can't just be looking at comments and just taking it from comic book. Because that one, I don't want to see no one start removing planets and all that. No, fam. That's too much.
No,
And to be honest, a lot of it
like the
is
power of want.
Yeah.
a lot of it would be a little ridiculous for movies. Like the comics go crazy because they're comics, and you try to translate some of this stuff to film, people are just going to roll their eyes, going to be like, no.
Yeah, like
Killing all
Although-
mutants and then...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, to be honest with you, there was a scene, I've read the comics, there was a scene in Avengers that I thought they would never do, and the snap that happened. You know what I mean? It's some concept that you think, oh, this is never going to work. But the way you implement it is all that matters. Because if you thought about it 5 years ago, there will be someone that does this, and half of the universe is gone. You would have gone laughing if you're at the cinema and someone says it to you.
Mhm.
But the way they did it, it had weight. It did happen. I never
Yeah.
imagined it working in a movie, let alone that kind of movie.
Mhm.
And it did wonderfully.
yeah, but you know what that word though? Because the way they've done MCU now, it's like everybody's
Yeah.
divided with like there's what, let's say there's like what 10, 15 characters now in the MCU. Everybody's divided with their favors. So where they've done the snap, somebody is really hurt with Spider-Man going because that's their favorite guy. Someone's really hurt with Black Panther going because they love the Black Panther movie. So the way they done it was genius because somebody's hurt, like because their favorite characters gone because the way you've introduced their characters. But like destroying planets, like that's a bit Dragon Ball Z esque. Like, how is she gonna be? She's gonna be.
And first of all, Kevin Feige said that the X-Men films won't happen in the next 5 years. So they already have a 5-year plan that they will adhere to. Maybe they will include nods and hints to it, but we won't be seeing, an X-Men movie on the slate in the next 5 years.
Yeah, but 5 years is nothing with Marvel. 5 years is nothing.
Yeah, I agree.
When you look
5 years
at the
is like-
movies that they got on that roadmap, it's like 3 unannounced movies each year for Marvel.
Yeah.
These are unannounced on top of the Far From Home and the other one that's coming that's already
No.
announced.
After Far From Home, there's nothing planned. There's nothing on the MCU timeline after Far From Home.
Yes, there is.
I
They've
don't-
already
No,
announced.
they already announced the
listen,
dates.
They've already announced Guardians
They
3.
announced the dates, but they haven't announced the title, so we don't know.
No, but my point is, we don't know what they're doing, right? So it's like
Yeah.
you guys are talking about, like how they're going to bring in X-Men, and they're talking about how they're going to, bring in another villain. Well, there's your answer. They got 9 movies to work over the next
Hold on.
3 years.
They've already announced Black Panther 2. And they've announced.
They
That's
mentioned
another one.
no, but they didn't. They don't have an official announcement. The when you go on the site.
Listen.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
announced it. Yeah, the struggle. They announced Black Panther 2. They announced it. They said there's going to be a Black Panther 2. They said there's going to be a Guardians 3. And they said there's going to be a Homecoming 2. They've announced it. Like, they've said, these movies are coming. That's why when they done the snap in Infinity War, I was like, okay, but these are all characters that you've already announced movies for. So why am I going to be, why am I going to be concerned? You've already told me there's a Guardians 3, and you've already told me there's a Black Panther 2 coming. No, Ollie, what do you mean? Like they sacked the Guardians 3 director, so there's a Guardians 3 coming on.
Yeah, but the way they're doing it is that they're not saying anything official that's coming after.
Yeah, but they're talking shit, man.
Far From Home.
They're talking
Yeah,
shit about official. They really had controversy about this director, so it's officially official. Like, really, Batista's already said he's not doing the movie unless he's directing.
Yeah,
And
which
now
they
they've
brought
announced
back.
he's directing, so it's official. I don't need flipping the president to say it's official when we've had a whole discussion of the flipping of the thing. But that's what I'm saying. 5 years is nothing to them. Like, that's
Yeah, the next movie, that's the thing that I think never happened since they started doing movies these frequently, is after Far From Home, the next movie is earliest next May 2020. So this will be the biggest gap in the MCU after they started, ramping up 2 to 3 movies a year. This would be the biggest, I think it's a 9-month gap for the MCU, which isn't common since they started doing 2 to 3 movies a year.
I mean, but they done 9-month gap from Infinity War to Captain Marvel, right? I'm sure it was a 9-month gap.
No, there was a Ant-Man the Wasp in between.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
I forgot about that.
You know what? Honestly, I think they need it. I think they need
Yeah,
a bit
I
of a
agree.
break.
I agree. And I wouldn't mind if they come back with some, unexpected movie first. I would like, for example, something like Black Widow set in the past. Not
Yeah,
something
but I'm
new
not trying to
going
watch no Black
forward.
Widow movie though. Like, that's
Excuse
one Marvel movie I will happily skip out on. I'm not trying to watch no Black Widow movie.
Fair enough. It's not a favorite character.
Like, what if she's not giving me anything?
Those are the dates I've posted them. So
what
there's no official
Untitled
title.
Marvel 3 mean?
yeah, because there's no dates yet, so that's how they did that.
No, but what does Untitled Marvel 2 or Marvel 3 mean?
They are placeholders for Marvel movies. They don't know what they're going to be, though.
Harley,
They
but
have
you
the
keep
dates
saying they
booked.
don't know what they're gonna be, bro. Like, they haven't basically told us. There's credible sources that's told us what these movies are. They are credible sources. Like before they even announced Spider-Man Far From Home 2, we done knew they was doing the Spider-Man 2. We knew they was doing Spider-Man 2. Like, Harley, you know that they're doing the Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Like, don't
Yes,
go on
of
like you
course.
don't know that movie's not
But they're
coming.
not official.
But Harley,
That's what I'm telling you.
they sacked the director and then rehired him. What do you mean it's not official?
Fair enough. But
Listen,
I'm saying that
that's like me saying, yeah. That's like them saying Mortal Kombat 11 is not official. And then Ed Boon has already said, listen, it's coming, but it's not official yet. But we've already announced, we're telling you it's coming, but we're just waiting for the trailer. And then when the trailer comes out, it'll be official. Nah, it's official, fam. This is word of mouth official. We'll take it.
okay.
Like,
They
Black
hired
Panther
that
2 is
guy,
coming.
Daniel Cretton, to do Shang-Chi, but they never actually announced it either. But
What's
apparently, Shang-Chi is some other Marvel movie. They're developing a solo movie of Shang-Chi, a master martial arts that was introduced in the pages of Marvel back in 1973. Close to becoming a reality. The fact that Marvel hired a director to start sculpting a vision for what the blockbuster can be.
Do you know what we
So-
dope? If they like made one of the MCU movies just for the Disney like the Netflix thing that they're doing. If they made an exclusive movie for that would be quite dope. Cause I think everybody will buy that. Everybody, like, if they done that where one of the movies is only for the Netflix thing, a bunch of people would just buy the subscription just for that movie. And then boom, that's how you tie people in. So I don't know. But yeah, is there anyone else that hasn't been, just before we end it, is there anybody else that hasn't been that's in that you think would make a good addition, or any villains that we haven't seen yet?
There's a few people, I think, but at the
Doctor
same
Doom.
time,
If we're talking about these people,
I was
Doctor
thinking
Doom
Dr.
comes
Doom.
to mind. Yeah.
I was going to ask the question as someone who's basically ignorant on the comics. Is there a villain that's worse than Thanos
There's a
that they can
bunch.
introduce? Okay.
When you
Because I would
when you
hear a
say-
bunch of names thrown around, like Taskmaster. I don't even know who any of these people
Taskmaster
are.
is a Captain America level villain. He would take him out. You know, it's not really a global existential threat. You know what I mean? He's
As far as
a
I know,
martial artist, so to speak.
as far as I know, in like the comic books, Thanos has got his ass whooped numerous amount of times by a bunch of people. Even like Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy killed him.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We are confusing Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. Those are two different beasts altogether.
Yeah, but does
Thanos
he
on
have
his
the-
own
the
and
question
Thanos with the
is-
Infinity Gauntlet.
But the question is, right now, what we don't know, does he have the Infinity Gauntlet? Like, how is that into play? So he could be easily killed in this movie. I don't know.
Without the Infinity Gauntlet, he's still a beast of a villain, but
hope
he
so.
can be taken down easily.
He's got
Easily,
some
you know
hope.
what I mean?
But you know what?
Okay.
Some of these villains, though, you have to, like, sometimes the villain's not powerful as in, like, he's strong. Sometimes the villains are powerful as in he's smart. Like, he knows how to outwit
Yeah.
everyone. Like, he knows what he's doing.
One quick character I'd like to see come out would be Moon Knight. I've reading a bit on his origin story, and there's been a little bit of talk of it. They can make it almost like an extension of kind of
But
like the Batman feel.
Moon Knight is that you mentioned Batman. Moon Knight is technically Marvel's version of Batman, and he dresses the exact opposite, all in white, but he has the element of being a psychopath. He's not mentally stable. He has multiple personalities within him, and his power come from Egyptian gods.
Yeah, like it's
So-
actually a cool origin story he has. Like he was a boxer and he joined the military and there's something like he challenged a guy to a fight and he lost. I like that. Like he lost the fight and then like the Egyptian gods give him another chance, like to return as God's avatar.
Mm-hmm.
That I think that'd be cool. I think I don't know.
What's his name? Not Cthulhu. I forgot the name of the god that gave him.
Khonshu.
Yeah.
Khonshu.
I've never heard of him before.
But
It sounds pretty cool.
Going back to the original subject of X-Men, if there are any characters that you would like to introduce from the X-Men lineup, I definitely want to see Gambit. And
you know, Gambit.
Finally, you get a Gambit. Yeah.
That's actually coming.
Everybody mentions Gambit and stuff. Gambit has never been one of my favorite characters. Like he's okay, but I don't know. I just don't like his personality. Like he's not. Oh no. Like, I know he's a strong character, but I don't know.
He's a strong
powerful.
character.
He's very powerful. Like the movies have not done him justice. He is like one of the most powerful.
Yeah, but it's not always power. The thing is, in these movies, it's not always power. Is charisma as well. And like, I have to sit down and watch a whole movie of this dude. Like, and I don't think Gambit.
Doesn't he have a Cajun accent? I think
yeah.
To maybe make that work. It's somebody, I don't know who, but
It's one of his major characteristics. It's his signature. Accent.
Unless you make a movie with him and Rogue somehow.
Yeah, which is always very complicated, even in the comics. But yeah, it could work. Those are two characters which could definitely be explained and taken further down the road in the MCU. I would keep the characters that have appeared in Deadpool there, like for example Colossus. I don't really want to see Colossus in the MCU because he would be like another copy of the Hulk, you know what I mean? But then again, it's the same thing with the Thing. The Thing is another just brute force kind of hero, superhero. And then you start having multiple copies of the same abilities. and that becomes a little bit of a redundant issue. Because what does Hulk do? He smashes. What does the Thing in the Fantastic Four does? You know, he smashes things. He's basically another interpretation of the same character.
And you know what they need to
introduce?
They need to do? Just start introducing the TV characters into the flipping movies, son. Because you just cancel all of the TV shows, so you might as well just bring them into the movies. Like they're fully fleshed characters.
They have a contractual agreement with Netflix, which says that they cannot use the characters for the next 3 years.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. Even if they have the rights, they cannot use them.
Wow. Yo, this TV thing is really weird, you know? Like, the way they do contracts for characters and stuff. Oh,
yeah,
it
is strange.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So what do you... DC have that contract as well? Is that why they can't use the Flash on TV?
No, I don't think so. It's different contract.
DC hasn't sold any of their characters on like Marvel, at least not to my knowledge.
See, I didn't know that. See, that's boy. I don't know. Harley, you know more than me in it, but okay.
I'll say this about introducing new characters. Like I had to look it up because again, I'm not the biggest comic book fan. They have an incredible pool of things that they can, like if they got Spider-Woman, they got Starjammers. I don't even know who Starjammers are. Bishop, superior foes of Spider-Man. Like,
but that's a problem. That's a problem. Yeah. You start mentioning Spider-Man; those are Spider-Man villains, and those cannot be in the MCU. Those are Sony's.
Spider-Man 2099, Thunderbolts.
That's Sony.
Thunderbolts.
The Thunderbolts now are back with the purchase of Fox. You have Cable. You have the squad that he had. There's Domino.
Cable's in that? Oh.
Yeah.
Jesus. Well, I mean, it's it's incredible the amount of characters that they're able to pull from. I mean, do you think there's going to be
And
any
they had
kind of
Bishop
fatigue to this?
Well, they had Bishop in the X-Men movies.
Before, I thought there would be like I'm experiencing a little bit of comic book movie fatigue, but
Mhm.
I don't think the general public will ever experience it. At the way this
that's
money
Bishop.
train is rolling, almost $1 billion in pre-sales of tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they will never stop if they
Nope.
keep making money like that. They will never stop. It's like microtransactions in games. They will never stop.
And that's the thing. That's why Marvel wants DC movies to be successful. Because if DC and any other studio starts making shitty comic book movies, transitions and whatever, the whole industry will start taking knocks. So they need for them to do quality movies. Otherwise, people will start having that, oh, I'm fed up of these shitty movies. And even if it's Marvel or DC...
I think people are able to establish Marvel movies from DC movies. People are
You
saying,
think
I'm
the
fed up
general
of
goer will
these DC.
say this is MCU and this is DC?
Yeah, people know, because people are like, I'm not watching Aquaman. I'm not watching what's the other movie that came out? Shazam, because it's DC. So, but people are not saying, oh, I'm not watching Endgame. People are happily watch Endgame because they know, like, we know Marvel's, you know, we know that their record, like, we know they're gonna give me a quality movie.
I don't think that people go to the cinema saying this is Marvel, this is DC. They want to say,
they do.
oh, superhero.
No. They do. People know now the difference between Marvel and DC. Trust me.
Okay.
People know the
I
difference.
think there's more now that do, but there still are people that are just like, oh, this is a fun movie, let's go see it.
Because
I think the casual moviegoer wouldn't really know.
but I think in the past 2 years, people have been aware more of it because they know that the Avengers, who the Avengers are, rather than when they see Shazam, they know this is not Avengers. Because, like, at the moment, we've not really had, apart from Captain Marvel, who's obviously called Captain Marvel, like, we've not really had the Marvel movies where it's like separate characters by themselves, or a new character introduced where we're like, oh, this may be just a regular superhero, or we're not sure if it's Marvel or DC. We know it's Marvel or DC because we've had since Infinity War, or even Spider-Man. We've had Spider-Man, Infinity War. We know who's in Infinity War. Now we know who's going to be in Endgame. So I think they kind of do know the characters now. Like, cause I don't think for a while Marvel are going to introduce anyone new. I don't think so.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't see them introducing any new characters for a while.
Really?
I think they will.
I don't
There's
know. I don't
tons.
think so.
I think they
That's
got
how
some
it
more
always
planned.
worked.
But I mean, like, as in introduce new characters for like a solo movie.
They will do solo movies with the appearances of, like, cameos that happened with Iron Man and Spider-Man. That's how they will do it. Like, maybe 5 minutes total in it, spread out over 3-4 scenes, and they make the connection, and that's how they're going to be made.
I don't know. I don't see that because, you know, because why I say that is, I feel that they're gonna have to build a new. I feel like there's certain characters they have to build. Like, for example, I reckon Winter Soldier will get his own movie. I reckon Hawkeye will get his own movie. Like, characters like that who were secondary
Winter Soldier
characters.
now has a series on Netflix.
Who?
Winter Soldier and Falcon are having a series on Netflix.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think secondary characters, they're gonna have to build them up in this upcoming
Disney
phase.
Plus.
So that's why I'm saying
But
I don't see them really introducing anyone like super. They might like one character, but I don't see them introducing someone new with their own solo movie for a while.
You know, I'm looking at a little bit of a backstory on Galactus, and I guess Silver Surfer has some history with him. That would be an incredible way to
Yes, he has.
get that Silver Surfer character.
The story of Silver Surfer is that he Galactus threatens him that if he doesn't help him as his herald, he basically destroy his whole planet.
Wow. See, now that's cool. I think that would be a really cool way to get that character in there.
I think Silver Surfer. I think
tons of ways for this to happen. Like, go
I
ahead.
reckon they'll bring in Fantastic Four. I could see them doing it. Like I could see, for
Maybe.
example, Iron Man dying, and then Mr. Fantastic buying the Iron Man's like apartment or Iron Man's place, and then Mr. Fantastic buys it, and then they do the whole origin story of the Fantastic Four going on into space, and then they get their powers, and then that's how Fantastic Four come about. So I could see them introducing them that way. That would make sense to me.
I don't see why it would take Iron Man to die, though.
Well, he's not going to give away his place, is he? If he's
But why do they need his place in particular?
What you say?
Why do they need his place in particular?
No, but he could just buy it, like, just as an excuse, like, he's buying, like, it's Iron Man's place, isn't it? Like, Iron Man's an Avenger, like, famous Avenger. When he dies, they, like, put it off for auction. This guy buys it. He happens to be Mr. Fantastic. That's how we start, like, the story, like, how he comes in. And then they go on the, like, space trip, get their powers, and then boom. Like, we've got this character, we've got a familiar place. Like, I'm just suggesting like that might be.
You're suggesting it as a segue, like a good way to segue from one thing to another.
Yeah, instead of just like saying, "Oh
That
yeah,
could
Fantastic Four here now." This is
that could work. I wouldn't be offended by that. I'd be like, yeah.
Oh, don't mind. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, well, obviously we're not gonna go over thingy, but Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. didn't sign a new contract, boy. So either way, he's not in the next movies. Unless he signs it soon.
Well, he has been out of
What you say?
a contract for a number of years, and he has been just getting per movie deals now. He's not bound for 6 movies, 9 movies. Every time they want to see him, they call him and they set a price. That's how it's working right now.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, he might just be in cameos then. I don't know. But yeah, as you said, X-Men, Fantastic Four, I think those are the big ones that haven't really been introduced that they're probably going to introduce in some way. They're gonna have to. X-Men is like, come on, what is Marvel without X-Men?
I think they will do a Deadpool 3 before all that because they said they will keep it separate. So
I mean, but you can
they
keep
have
Deadpool
no
separate, 'cause
restrictions whatsoever with that.
Deadpool doesn't really need to be like involved. Like Deadpool's like always out of like Deadpool. You can like have Deadpool just at the side doing his own thing. Deadpool does his own thing anyway.
Yeah, that's the thing. Deadpool can, because they're saying it's a winning formula, it's working, and why change it? And people like the character. The actor that is doing it is basically the character himself. He's invested in the character. He promotes the character, so that's a perfect machine right there. Don't touch it. Keep it.
Don't touch
Do
that.
a
Just
Deadpool
leave it
3.
as
Yeah, leave it as is.
separate
You don't need to include, and that's one thing that I was talking about last time. We have these movies which are all interconnected, and then there comes a movie like Logan, which has basically is in an alternate universe, different timeline by itself. And I think it's one of the best movies that I've seen with regards to people with superhero powers. So I would love to see, even within the MCU by itself, one shots like where there's one story, it has a beginning and end. I've seen this character, he has done his arc in one movie, and I never see him again. I would love to see something like that.
Yeah, but I mean,
And
Logan wasn't really a spin-off. Like Logan could still happen in that timeline. Because remember, the thing is with X-Men timeline now is just muddled. Because remember they changed it in Days of Future Past and
they
all
don't
that
care. They don't care
stuff.
about the timeline in those movies. You don't question it.
No, I'm just saying like Logan, like yeah, let's not go on the X-Men timeline because that timeline is all over the gap right now. Like I don't know how they're doing. Who decided to do another Dark Phoenix movie? You've done it. The whole reason why you've done Days of Future Past is because you done this movie and it was doo-doo. So why are you doing it again?
I'm not the least bit excited for it. I couldn't care less.
Listen, you killed everybody in the. Fam, I don't understand it. I'm gonna watch it because I want to see what they do with it. I love X-Men.
You
This
want to
is the
see that
problem.
end? You want to see the end credits scene?
This for real.
For which movie do you want to see the end credit scene?
I mean, but what are they gonna,
Dark Phoenix.
what are they
Oh,
gonna show in the end credits? Yeah, we just got bought by this. We got bought by Marvel. Yeah.
Oh shit! Here, this is what's coming up. Right on.
no.
This is what villain we was gonna do next, but now
And there's the New Mutants, by the way, as well.
I swear it got cancelled. It got cancelled.
But
No,
it's all still tied into Fox's old contracts. Just because Marvel bought them doesn't mean those contracts expire. So all that stuff is still as far as I'm concerned, still the brainchild of Fox.
Yeah,
So
they
it'll be
said
a
that
few years.
they did say that they're separate. They have nothing will carry over in the MCU of the movies that they are right now. So don't expect anything to cross over to the MCU from even the movies that aren't still out, like the New Mutants and Phoenix. They're calling them just the New Mutants. It's a one-off. It's just one shot. And the Phoenix saga concludes the X-Men pre-MCU cycle.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
Because I heard that the X-Men Dark Phoenix thing. I heard that they was only gonna do 3 of them movies, but they've done like 4 or 5 of them now. So I don't know. But yeah, X-Men and Fantastic Four seems to be like the 2 characters or the 2 groups that we'd bring in, which would make the most logical sense. Yeah, but so next week, so I was thinking, because obviously Infinity War Endgame, I keep calling it Infinity Flipping War. Endgame sounds so shit at the time. I hate that title, Endgame. Why have you titled it something that the characters said? Like, I hate that. Endgame.
He's saying Endgame.
It's the worst title. Like, don't go on like you thought that was good. They did not. That was not going to be the title of the movie until it got so much leeway.
We know it's not the end game. We know it's not the end.
No, but it's the end game because obviously this is how stuff is going down. They still got the second battle with Thanos, but that wasn't going to be the title of the movie. I would rather Infinity War Part 2.
That's how they announced it.
Endgame. Anyway, yeah, since Endgame is coming out,
they're calling this whole 3 phases now the Infinity Saga. So this is the end of the Infinity Saga.
They should have just done Infinity War Part 2, fam. Just do the Harry Potter thing. Definitely Hallows Part 1 and 2. Infinity War Part 1 and 2. Song with you. Simple. You're doing Endgame like it's a whole different movie. Fam, it's Part 2, innit? So yeah, since Endgame will be out, and I'm probably going to watch it on the day of. Fam, listen, you see the way I have to budget. I'm going to have to budget to watch this movie on the day of. Anyway, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to try and catch it. So hopefully next podcast, maybe we'll record it on the Friday. Hopefully we can discuss Endgame. That's what I'm planning to do. Because I know that will be like a big thing to discuss and people want to discuss it and everybody, I know it's going to be shocking. It's going to be stuff to discuss.
It depends who would have seen it by then.
I'm pretty sure the majority of you, Tim, you're probably not going to see it by then, I'm sure.
I'm thinking I have to find a way because if I wait, everything will be spoiled for me. There will be no way on earth that I could do it unless I unplugged my internet cable and it just, I don't know.
They would mention it on TV somehow, don't they?
No, I just have to sit in a chair in a dark room until I get to see it. That's the only way. So I might try and find a way to see this thing when it opens.
Because the way it is now, even like, I'm not even going to say what it was, but I was on IGN the other day and there was like, there was like something about why this character died in this show. I'm like, bro, why have you put that as a fam? Why I don't want to watch it now?
Oh yeah, forget it. They forget it.
Like,
it's the way the world is now, man. Something comes out, they immediately have 15 tips to play this thing the perfect way.
Yeah,
it just keeps out right. Can you fucking wait until we play something?
So I'm gonna try and watch it on the day or on the night. I'm gonna try and get. It depends on what cinema is, because cinema is expensive. I don't know.
Oh, everything is expensive. That will never change. God, those prices, they're like 2 to 3 times more than what you could get, buying it at like some grocery store.
So I'm gonna try to catch it. But before we go, predictions for Endgames. Deaths. Who's dying? I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying Hulk. I'm saying
Damn.
Iron Man. And I'm saying, let me just throw. I want to throw a wild card out there. I'm gonna say, flipping. I'm gonna go with a character that I don't remember his name. Who the fuck was I gonna go with just now?
Hawkeye?
Who did I say?
I think
Hulk?
Hawkeye's dead. No one seems to care about Hawkeye.
Nah, I don't care about Hawkeye.
No.
Hulk, Iron
No
Man,
one seems to care.
and Thor. I can see Thor dying as well, because they look like they don't mind replacing Thor, and they look like they would. Marvel looks like they would actually go with this female Thor storyline. So I'm going with Hulk, Iron Man, and Thor.
And just on the same topic, though, who's returning? I mean, those who did come back will come back with the undoing of the snap.
Mhm.
Do you think that Vision and, for example, Loki or Gamora will come back, or they're gone?
Gamora's coming back because they've already announced Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So they ain't gonna do no Galaxy with that, no
I
Gamora.
think Loki is gone. Because that death meant something in the movie, and
I don't know if he's gone, you know?
yeah.
I don't know if he's gone, because this is Loki. He's a trickster god, so I don't know. Because the way
Yeah,
that
that's
it's looking
true.
like they're
That is
about to do
true.
this time travel thing in this movie. So,
Yeah, that's his whole thing. I forgot. Yeah, he's a trickster, and maybe he pulled something off for I don't know what.
they're looking like they're about to do this time travel stuff in this movie. So I don't know what's gonna happen. But yeah, Tim, predictions for deaths? Who you got?
Predictions for so definitely Hawkeye. I think Hawkeye's out. I think it would be an incredible character arc for Thor to sacrifice himself. I think that would be really bold, and I think it would have some serious weight to it. So I'm going to say what you're saying, Thor. Other than that, I really don't know. Like, I mean, I know Iron Man's got to go. Like, Robert Downey Jr. can't do the character anymore.
And
He's
plus-
getting too old.
Isn't Thor a bit too powerful now? Like, Thor's like super duper powerful. He's like the strongest one now. He's a bit too
we need to-
powerful, bro.
When you seen Captain America, yeah, as well. I don't think Captain America will go though.
I don't see Captain America dying.
I think it's a trick because they said this is my last. They said this is my retirement care, my last movie, but I don't think he's gone. I don't think he'll be gone. Who
I
knows?
think Iron Man will retire. Captain America will die.
I don't see Cap dying though.
I see him dying. The ultimate sacrifice. He is the guy that always throws himself on a grenade, on a live grenade if he needs to. So he will be doing, like in the first Avengers, Iron Man did the sacrifice. He went into space with the rocket with no real known chance of coming back. So he was the sacrifice play. And I think this time around, somehow, it will be Captain America that makes the decision, and Winter Soldier will become the new
Here's
Captain
my
America
theory real quick.
going forward.
I just want to say this live, just so people know that I've said it. So if it happens, they're like, Ace, you predicted it. Fam, I think they're gonna go back in time, and the first Avengers where Iron Man was nearly died, but he didn't. I reckon he was supposed to die, and everything will be okay, but he didn't die, so it messed things up. So that's why they're gonna have to go back and be like, listen, you're gonna have to die in this. You're gonna have to die in space, bro. And then like that's how like we kind of correct stuff. And then they go beat up Thanos and blah blah. That's what I think.
That's interesting theory.
I don't think.
Go on.
No, I don't think from the movie. I don't think Loki's coming back. Just to go back with the subject that we mentioned, I think a different version of Vision will come back because Shuri was working on something in Infinity War and she has downloaded some of the files of Vision. So there will be a version of him that comes back somehow. But I'm a bit 50-50 regarding Gamora. The Guardians of the Galaxy exist with or without her. It's an ensemble team. They can go ahead with them without her.
Nah, she's coming back, man. Gamora's coming back. They're trying to make it seem like, oh, you can't predict who's coming back, but it's like, yeah, you can, bro. You can predict who's coming back. You ain't doing these movies without these characters, bro. You're gonna do another Spider-Man. Spider-Man's coming back. You're doing another Black Panther. Black Panther's
in my opinion, those that went away with the snap will come back with the snap. Those I'm not discussing those people.
Oh yeah, she didn't go with the snap, did she?
That whole thing of people coming back from snap is a whole different thing that we could do with him.
Heimdall doesn't return. Let's go.
I'm not down with it, but yeah, I'm not.
Blade, what do you think?
I pretty much align exactly with Harley. I think Cap's gonna go, maybe Thor. That's my guess.
I can see Thor going. I can really see Thor going.
But Thor, it wouldn't make, from the financial perspective now, he had the best Thor Ragnarok movie, and Tessa Thompson this week said that there are rumors of a Thor 4 story and script running around. Although, as I said, maybe they will go with the female Thor, but explaining that to the general public would be much more difficult than explaining someone changing characters. So,
you could
especially
explain it. Like, fam, people don't care, you know. They're like, yeah, female power, fam. They don't care about this story, bro. As long as they just see this female Thor, they're like, yeah, I'm down. I'll take it.
Okay.
So many people don't care. Drax said Tony, Iron Man to retire, Captain America dies, Rocket Raccoon dies? No, I don't see no Rocket Raccoon dying at all. Vision returns, Heimdall returns. Heimdall's dead. Idris Elba's hair was
Yeah,
in
he's
Fast and
dead.
Furious movies, fam. He's out of here. Gamora gone. I can see Gamora dying. I can see Gamora staying dead. Unfortunately. Oh, actually, no. It's Disney, guys. No, guys, it's Disney. We have to. This is the thing. It's Disney. At the end of the movie, it's gonna be happily ever after. Don't think, oh, Infinity War, there wasn't happily ever after. That's because Infinity War was part 1. It wasn't really the ending. So we're gonna get happily ever after. So I don't know. I feel that somehow we're gonna get happily ever after.
I don't think there will be no consequences to whatever happened.
That's for sure. That if they do that
would
no
make
consequence.
Infinity War nothing. It will destroy everything good they've done so far.
Yeah,
If
Infinity
there are
War's
no
gonna be
real
nothing.
consequences,
It is. They always do that in movies where you always have a part 1 or 2. Like, it's basically the same movie, but they've cut it in 2. Infinity War's gonna be nothing. Like, that snap is not gonna be anything.
they won't bring everyone back. There will
Because,
be
but Hardy,
people dying.
listen, this is the thing. This is number 1 Disney, and this is the movie industry. This is how they do it. The thing is, it's like Star Wars. In the second movie, you have the cliffhanger for that time and that movie, and that time that movie's out. That's shocking to everybody. That's amazing. That's the best thing in the world. Oh my God, this happened. But when the third movie comes out, everything that the second movie's done is nothing now. And the third movie's out, and then we can all live happily ever after. That's how they always do it. I guarantee you this is the way this movie's going to go on, because it's Disney. This is little kids watching it. Like, they have to have a happily ever after. Obviously, I do think people are going to die, but...
Yeah, they can have a happily ever after, right? There's got to be resolution to this whole arc, but I mean, there
Not
better be
without
stakes.
consequence.
Yeah, there better be some consequences, or I'll be really angry.
I will be pissed as well.
I'm angry enough that this whole snap thing is basically can be reversed. If we can just all go back in time and reverse everything, why don't we just reverse
Yeah, they're going
everything?
back in time. So great. Good luck with consequences. Good luck with that. The
I don't know how
Really
I feel
big
about that.
consequence that they can't fix no matter what they try to do.
The consequences
And
are...
it's something that notified every body. Like there are things that we haven't even seen yet in Marvel that are now on notice because of Thanos.
Yeah.
He gathered all the stones. There are some very, very important people, way more powerful than Thanos, that are now on notice. Like the reason Thanos didn't go for the stones earlier because he didn't know where they all were at. He waited
Exactly.
until he got all the locations.
And if you
Because
think that
people
when
are
the
gonna come from-
snap gets undone, only the human people will be the ones coming back. Because this is on the universal scale, so half of the universe is gone. So there will be not just, I think, the Avengers doing something about it. There might be other people doing something about it. You know what I mean? This is not just.
Yeah.
This is
I
the
don't
view
think it's going to be
of
that deep.
planet Earth.
I think that's
I do.
going
that snap
bit
will
deep
create
into
new
it.
people. Not like new, but like that snap will bring in people that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, that makes
That's
sense.
what
I can
he
see
did.
that happening. Like Galactus is like, yo, so this is what's going on, yeah? Alright, cool. I'm coming through. Yeah, I can see that happening. But I can also see it happening where they kill Thanos, but because they kill Thanos, like like it's time travel, like you're altering time. So now, because remember Days of Future Past, it was like you killed the Sentinels, but because you done that, Logan happened where all the X-Men died anyway, and then Xavier went crazy and Wolverine, blah blah blah. So there's always that aspect where because you kill Thanos now, without Thanos might have snapped half of the universe, but that might have been because Galactus was about to do something. Galactus was about to come, but Thanos has snapped now and Galactus is dead. But because you've undone it, Galactus is still about, like he's still here and he can do whatever he wants now. And also, I swear Dormammu is still about.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was in Doctor Strange, but they didn't really he just
They
said
didn't
like, fuck it, I'm gonna stop doing what I'm doing. But he just pissed off. He wasn't like, he didn't die. He just like, yeah, I'm gonna stop. Like,
They made a bargain. That was it.
Stop rewinding time. Because Doctor Strange can rewind time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he done it in the movie, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why they changed Infinity War title.
But remember that even in Doctor Strange movie, you remember the dialogue said that you cannot reverse time without consequences. They say
of course,
that
of course, there are
Doctor
going to be
Strange
consequences. Of course, I think that's why they've even brought in time travel, because that's kind of the only way you can change. You can kind of reverse everything, but also bring in a new danger.
But if I had to guess, I don't think they're going back in time using the time stone. They're using the quantum realm, and that's why Ant-Man will be important.
No, yeah. They're using the Ant-Man stuff, of course, 100%. 100%. They're not using any stones. Thanos has got all of that shit. That ain't happening. You ain't getting that from Thanos. The way he kicked Holocaust, no. He's got that shit. But yeah, we went off a bit into an Infinity War discussion.
Yeah.
But next week we'll do the whole Infinity War thing. Hopefully, the movie will be good.
The end game of the end game.
Yeah, we'll discuss the reviews. We'll review it a little bit. Also discuss how we think Marvel's done in their first chapter, we should say, of
Infinity Saga.
Of movies. Infinity Saga, as it's called. How it was done and how it ended. Was it satisfactory? All that stuff.
And the after credit scenes.
Yep, and obviously discuss the after credit scenes from. Alright, it better be a big ass after credit scenes, No. I want shocking, fam. I want to die in my seat. I want no. I want.
I'm sure they're going to give us plenty of what we want and more.
First of all, I want about 3
during
after
the
credit
movie
scenes.
and at the end.
Now, buy the tickets and buy your coffin at the same time.
Yeah.
No, don't
Two
talk
for one
about
deal.
buy your tickets, because listen, anybody watching, don't, fam, I don't get royalties or tickets, so don't buy your tickets based off this buying tickets. No, if you want to buy your tickets, please do. If you don't want to, don't buy it, because I don't get no royalties from Marvel, fam. If I got royalties, then I'll put a link down, but I don't be getting royalties. Anyway, yeah. So thanks for listening. I might put the podcast on. I'm thinking of putting it on SoundCloud as well, so people can listen while they're on the train or walking or whatever they're doing. Because ain't no one paying for no YouTube Premium out here, fam. YouTube Premium is expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, ain't no one paying for that, so it might be a good idea maybe to put on SoundCloud or something. But I'll think about it. I'll see what I'm gonna do. But thank you guys for joining. Y'all gonna be here. I know Harley's gonna be here next week. Harley will be here next week, fam. He'll even be here on Wednesday before the podcast. Harley, the podcast is on Friday, fam. But he'll be here Wednesday, ready for Avengers discussion. We might even film it before, but it just depends when people are able to watch it, because I know not everyone's able to watch it on the.
The thing is, I think it would be safer to do it Saturday, not Friday, if it's possible, because many people will, I think, go view it on a Friday.
True. It's true. Yeah, so we might do it on the weekend, depending. Obviously, I'll let you guys know anyway. We'll announce it. And then I'm glad it'll be over though, because after that we can have like proper discussions about stuff. I think we have to do Endgame. It has to be done. And then after that we can like discuss some other stuff. But yeah, so thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for being there, discussing.
Yep.
And we shall see you guys next time. Peace.
Later.
See you.